Okay. All right. Well, we're going to start our meeting. I know some other folks will be coming on. I think Amina was having some trouble with connectivity. Salaha was here, but she froze and then disconnected. So I think we're still having some connectivity issues. What we'll try to do is we're going to go through a few assessment tools today, talk about assessments because I know there were exams in Constantine over the past week, and
Yeah.
see how we can strategize to create those exams that are given in person online so that you can see if you can move things online. Now, I know that the school is using Moodle. I am not teaching anything about Moodle, so I don't want to conflict with what they're teaching at the college. I'd rather let their professionals handle it. I'm not a professional with Moodle. So if you need Moodle help, please go talk to the folks on campus so that you can get the correct information. As far as other tools that are available, there are dozens and dozens of other tools available. And so I'm going to share a few of those with you today. And I did put the list last week when we weren't able to meet because of the connectivity. I did put the list on Padlet so that folks would be able to take a look at the options that are available for some of those assessments. So let me share with you my screen right now, and you can take a look with these materials that I posted for you. Now, these are random assessment materials, not specifically for one particular type of assessment. They can be used for multiple types of assessment. I gave a link to the document here. And the website that I got that from, I'm going to share with you right now. The majority of them I got from this website. It's from the HP store, and they talk about the 5 best tools, We've talked about a few of these already. The first one is Socrative, and for those of you who are watching right now and not a recorded session, I'm going to put this in the chat for you so you can also pull it up on your own computer if you want to follow at your own pace. I know some people like to scroll where I'm not, right? So they can take a look. Socrative is one of my favorite tools to use for quizzes that allows for real-time grading. And this is when I'm not using Google Classrooms. I like Google Classrooms the best, but Socrative is a nice tool for providing quizzes and questions that can give you an opportunity to do on-the-fly grading, allowing students and teachers to see the feedback immediately. It's a very good tool for that. The next one is the Google Forms. We use that in Google Classroom. And I did a few weeks ago, we did a walkthrough of the Google Forms in Google Classroom. This is something where you can create a multiple choice quiz, open-ended. Sometimes you can do short essays. You can't do a longer answer with the Google Forms. It's very difficult to do that. But with the short answers, you can do it in a Google form. Next one that we're going to look at is Mentimeter, and I'm sure because I'm the biggest fan of Mentimeter out there. They don't know it yet, but I am the biggest Mentimeter fan. I love Mentimeter because it's a presentation tool, but it has education templates, and it allows you to create quizzes, surveys, polls. You can do icebreakers. There's so many different ways that you can use Mentimeter. And about 2 weeks ago, we went through, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, we went through the steps on creating different types of presentations in Mentimeter. Welcome back, Sadaha.
Thank you.
So I've put the website in the chat. Let me put it in there again for you because I don't think it'll show up if you're coming in later. So we're looking at this website about the top 5 online assessment tools that are available right now. So we just talked about Socrative, Google Forms, and Mentimeter. We're moving on now to Poll Everywhere. So I've taken a look at this one. I didn't know about it before I started researching different types of assessments. I don't feel that Poll Everywhere provides any more usefulness for teachers than Mentimeter does. And I believe it requires payment to use it. But it's something that you could check out if you're interested in using it for immediate feedback from students, because it's just a matter of taking polls. And finally, number 5, which everyone knows about, and everybody knows and loves Kahoot. And I know, Sada, how you've been posting some of this on the Facebook group, right? Students love Kahoot. They even ask me while we're waiting for other students to log in, they'll say, "Miss, can you change the music?" It's the same tune, it's just in different formats, and they love listening to to different types of music while we're waiting for people to join. So it does have a couple of interactive properties that are really nice, not necessary, but they put the students at ease so that even when it becomes stressful, when they're trying to answer questions in a hurry, they're having fun while they're doing it. It's not a stress where they feel like they're going to lose their best friend. So those are the top 5. They've given us another list at the bottom. Actually, at the bottom of this, there's another list here. I put this list into a document for you and posted it here. I'm going to go ahead and post for those teachers who aren't able to make it, the 5 best online assessment tools. And the only thing I caution you for is some of these tools are actually by purchase only. You can only use them if you purchase them. Not many of them, but a number of them are purchase only. So let me open up that document for you and we can take a look at what is available in these different sites, websites. Have I gone too far ahead of everybody yet? Okay. This is just a brief overview of the different types of materials that are available. And I'm going to put the tools into our chat box. And it said it's not going to let me do it. Hold on just a second. I have everything filed and I go deeper and deeper and deeper into my filing to get any documents now. All right, it's not allowing me to connect the document in the chat. However, you can go onto, yeah, it's still not letting me do it. You can still go onto the Padlet and download it from the Padlet, and I'll just share it here. But you will need it for later when we're going to go to the different websites. The links to the websites are here on the document. So you would hold the control key down and then click on the item to go to the linked location. The other option is to run a Google search. So I'm not going to review all of these with you. I've gone through them and there are a few of them that I feel you would find useful and effective. Back channel chat might be something that some of you would like if you wanted to be able to communicate in really short conversations with your students, or to have them have like a Twitter account, but it's moderated. It's something that's just your students and just your class. So if you had 3 classes, 3 different groups of students, and you wanted them all to be sharing ideas together, you could create one group in this back channel chat and they could all talk amongst themselves, and you could watch and make sure that they're staying in English and using appropriate terminology for what they're studying. A number of these are mind mapping, like Kaggle, and surveys. You've got eSurvey Creator, you've got SurveyMonkey, which is not on here. SurveyMonkey is blocked sometimes by certain domains, so be careful with SurveyMonkey. I believe we've discussed Flipgrid. Is that correct? We discussed Flipgrid as a tool?
Yeah.
Yes. Right. We discussed Flipgrid. Formative is another one that gives them live assignments. I'm not sure how useful that one will be. I checked it out, but it doesn't seem to be very helpful for the free version. You might need to get a paid version in order to really benefit from what that is. Sticky notes for a virtual Blackboard, it's only really useful if you're using Blackboard. NACU has quizzes that the students can take on mobile devices, but so does Socrative, so does Flipgrid. They've got little not quizzes, they've got little flashcard type tools that you can use. NACU costs money. You can't really get anywhere with it without money. Plickers is something I'm going to recommend you look at. So the highlighted ones are the ones that I would like you to look at if you haven't already today. The Q, which is also similar to Twitter. And Quizlet, I believe we talked about Quizlet. Is that correct?
No, I think.
We
Don't
haven't.
remember.
Okay, I did that with the student group. I haven't done it with your group yet. So Quizlet is one where students can create their own flashcards, their own study games, their own quizzes, or you can create them and have students respond to them, and they can use their mobile phone to connect. And I think that using a mobile phone needs to be a consideration when we develop exams, with the exception of writing exams, which need to be much more in-depth and they probably need to type. Remind is a reminder application that sends an email out to your students saying, don't forget we have a test this Friday, or don't forget to study for this, or don't forget to turn in your homework. It's not necessarily something that we would use in the classroom, but it might be something you would find useful for your students. Spark Post allows you to create something to post onto a Facebook page. So you could post an image onto a Facebook page or into a Google Classroom. I have, do I have it up here? I do have an example of that for you from the free version. With the free version, you don't get to choose your own graphics. You have to pick from their set, but you can add in your own content, your own text. Surveys, again, it's more like a poll. VoiceThread is again similar to our study of Flipgrid when we talked about Flipgrid, where you can have discussions about videos, or in this case documents and other materials. The only problem with this is if your students are using if they're using a PC, not an iPhone or an iPad, they're going to have a hard time accessing it. Okay, they'll need to have an iPhone or an iPad to get access. And then Zoho survey, again, more surveys. So I'm going to show you quickly a little bit about Spark Post, because it was new to me when I first jumped into this a week or two ago, a couple weeks ago. I hadn't learned about Spark Post. So let me share that with you right now. So I'm logged into Spark Post, if you can see my screen. And in Spark Post, I took one of their images and I created a little banner, a little flashy banner here. Now you can do a lot more with it than just create a flashy banner. There's text, there's photos, you can put designs in there, you can set up backgrounds for whatever you want the students to do. But I can share. So if I go to my post, let's go back to projects and I'll show you what I did to make this project. So I want to make a new project. I can make a flyer. I can make an Instagram story. I can do a Facebook post or a collage. So you can make it in Spark and then upload it to whatever server that you want to do it with. You can make a video, a web page, all of these different things. This might be something that you would have your students do. Say maybe you want them to make a flyer for a class to show their use of English, but also their understanding of the content, right? So I've got the flyer. Now I need to add, let's see, I'm going to put a photo in. I can either upload a photo or I can find a free photo. And I want to look for a rainbow. Oh, that looks cool. Let's see, where's a good rainbow? Oh, that's a great rainbow. Lots of colors. Okay, so this is the inside of a balloon, I think. So I've got my rainbow. That's what I'm starting with. Now I'm going to add text. And I'm going to add, everything will be okay. I'm going to change the color. And then I can move things around. And maybe the students are going to add something to this about content of something they read. Maybe this is a title of a book and they're going to write a little bit about it. Then they can either download it or they can publish it or send it to Google Drive. You can publish. The most noteworthy for me is that you can publish to Google Classroom. So you don't have to send it in an email, which we've already discussed as really problematic. They can send it directly to Google Classroom, or if you have Facebook with your students, they can send it to Facebook. All right, so this is for like an activity or developing some kind of post that they're going to use. That's what Spark Post is. It may or may not be useful for assessments. In regards to creativity and motivation for assessments, you could allow your students to choose the method that they want to deliver the information to you, and this could be one of those options. All right, let's go back to this list. Now I'm going to go ahead and open these. Sorry, I'm going to open these links so that I can put them in the chat for you. And what I would like you all to do is I'd like to divide you into, well, groups of 2. There's 4 of you. And I'd like to invite you to review 2 of or 3 of these tools. And I think Plickers and Quizlet are the ones that we're going to go for right now. Okay, so let me share each of those in kind so that you know what you're looking at. And then I will, if we can choose 2 and 2 to review them and come back and discuss and maybe even try them out, that would be fantastic. So this is Plickers. Okay, it is for formative assessment and it's a card activity. And I'm not going to say more. I would like you to evaluate the Plickers software, take a look at it, see what it does. If you look at the pictures, that kind of gives you, or even the video, that kind of gives you a little bit of a hint as to how the students are replying using Plickers. Looks pretty interesting, huh? All right, so this is just one idea for using Plickers, and you can see what the teacher's doing up there. That would be one choice. I'm going to put that into the chat. Okay, the other choice is Quizlet. Quizlet. And this is, you can create a Quizlet, you can use existing Quizlets. It allows you to create flashcards and, for example, here you can go in and choose something that already exists. Maybe we'll go and look at English, okay? And we want to look at literature, for example. We've used Moby Dick in the past. All right, so you can choose different types of subject matter based on something that's already here, or you can choose to write your own. Okay, this is an example of a Quizlet on important authors, and these are flashcards, is what we're seeing here now. And there's a lot of information on this flashcard, which is not how I would normally use a flashcard, but you would see the name on the other side, right? So I wouldn't probably put as much information on this side, but when you create your flashcards, you can do just as much as you would like to. And this gives the students a study tool that they can use on their own. There's a test associated with it, and there are games to practice. So I would like to have someone choose that they to do Quizlet and someone else to choose Plickers. Do I have any volunteers? You're going to make me choose?
I can take Plickers.
Okay, Layla, great. Plickers for Layla. And
Okay.
for Quizlet?
I use Quizlet. You
Okay.
want?
All right, Salha, let's do that. You can do
I will
Quizlet.
try.
Shafia, which one would you like to do?
I will try.
Well, I didn't attend from the beginning, so can I join one of the groups or shall I choose a new one? You have given us Quizlet and Plickers. That's it.
We have Quizlet and Plickers. I think it's better if we just stick with the two today.
Okay, so Plickers.
Okay, Plickers. You and Layla can work together on Plickers. Salha,
Okay.
I'm sorry, you're all by yourself unless Hassan Alamis comes back or Amina. But let me, and I said Amina's name and she showed up. I'm going to try that next time. Let me go ahead and create groups for you so that you can have a space where you can actually talk to each other. And I'll let you go to your rooms and I'll assign the rooms here. Hold on just a second. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Erin. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Welcome back.
How are you? How are you all? I was disconnected and I was trying to reconnect, and I finally did it. So, how are you doing, all?
We're doing well. I'm really glad you made it.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So, what did I miss?
So we're going to do a little bit of research. I'm going to put the two links into the chat for you. And I would like to put you in a group with Saliha and you can discuss Quizlet. Okay?
Okay.
I'm going to let Saliha bring you up to speed in your group.
Okay.
Okay? All right. I'm going to open the rooms. You can choose to come and go. Okay? It's not restricted. Let's give about 10 minutes to take a look.
I find something else.
Hi.
Hi.
All right.
I find something about tests on Quizlet. It's very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, about tests. Something very interesting.
It's a really good tool. I think I think Quizlet is a great tool. And it's not used enough, you know. You can find yourself some multiple choice, you can do essay questions and things in the exam. And we'll talk about what kinds of things you can do with exams online and the difficulties in assuring that you're getting accurate student responses and not something either that they looked up or that perhaps they had their cousin do, you know, so that you're not having false readings. Yeah. All right. Our other lady should be back soon. I think Layla.
It takes time.
Yeah, it does.
It takes time to get back to the meeting now.
Yeah. So let me share the screen with Quizlet since we're kind of discussing that, and I'm already in here on Quizlet. I'll go back to the home page.
This is what I found at the beginning. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I did not. Yes, Erin, I did not get this page when I clicked on the link you shared. I did not have this page.
Yeah, this is just the main page. It may be because your internet is slow today.
Okay.
I had the page in French, and it's not the same page.
Yeah. Okay. Then maybe it's got quizlet.com.fr. No,
I don't know.
no, I don't
No, I
know.
don't know.
I don't know.
I wanted to share my screen and I did not know whether I could
Yeah, you
with
can.
Saliha.
Yeah.
I was trying and I had a message telling me that I was sharing the screen, but Saliha told me she did not see anything.
It's probably because your connectivity is so slow. Can you put the link?
Maybe,
Can you
yes.
take the URL? Can you copy this and put it in the chat?
What I got, or
Yeah, the link.
I just clicked on the link. You put a
Ah,
link in the chat.
and it gave you
it's that.
French?
Can I share the? Can I share the? Or are you? Can you see my screen, or
Let me
can I
stop.
share it with you?
Yeah, let me stop sharing and you can share.
Ah, okay.
Welcome back, Leila.
Mm.
I think we lost Chef, yeah.
Yes.
Oui, c'est Scoop. Il y a un problème là, de connexion peut-être.
Connection is very bad.
It's very bad today. Yes. I
Yeah,
know it
but
will take time.
I know that last week also it was really bad, and I know Constantine just finished exams, and then Oran is
Yes.
starting exams, or Steve is starting exams this week, and then Waterglow is got exams by the 20th, and it's like if I work across the country, I have to do the same workshop 4 times because everybody's having exams at different times.
Yes. Yes. Well, last week I had a good connection. When my connectivity was good,
Yeah.
we could not have the meeting. Last week it was good for me.
You were the one person with a good connection last week. Maybe because nobody else was on because they had.
Maybe that's it. Yes. Yes.
There's Chef.
Well, there is Chef. Yeah.
Are you sharing, Amina?
Okay. Can I share?
Yeah. We'll wait for you.
Okay, it's this. I don't know if you can see it.
It's starting. Yes. Oh no.
That's what I got. Yes.
It looks like you.
He's looking to it in French.
Your browser.
Yes, that's what I got.
Yeah, it says your browser is out of date. Maybe. So, if you can you look at the very top of your page? So I'm gonna draw a picture on your page. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on a sec. 1 second. I don't have it here. Why don't I have it here? Okay, I'm not able to annotate on this screen. So at the very top, where your pointer is right now.
Yes, it's Quizlet.com.
But it's longer. It's longer. It's longer than that. There's something. Yeah. There it is.
French. FR. But the end it's FR. Yes.
So delete the FR.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
And it puts it right back. It's your browser is deciding for you.
Yes, my browser does not accept English.
Okay, so maybe yeah, it's not letting you have it in English.
Okay, let me try Let me try it on Chrome.
Yeah, but just don't copy the FR because once you put it in there with that, it's going to try it every time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Okay. Okay. I do not know how to, first of all.
Okay. Take your time. Don't stress.
Yes.
What I really wanted to do this week is look at a few different tools, get an idea of what kind of assessment you want to do for your students online. We'll figure out which tools are best, and you'll get a chance to develop that tool over this next week, and then we'll do feedback in the next session. So that's my goal, is to help you get something ready to use with your students online. Okay, are you sharing?
Okay, I'm going to share now.
Okay.
No. Do you have it?
Yes.
But it's still in
still in
French.
French. Yes.
It does not want to
Okay.
cooperate with you.
Yes.
Well, the same thing happened with us with the
It's
stickers.
still in French.
So
Yes.
can
It's
you
in French.
scroll down, please?
Mm.
Scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Maybe it's the same.
No,
No.
if you scroll all the way to the bottom, all the way to the bottom,
Oh.
I want to see if they have an option. Yes, change your language on the lower right-hand side.
Okay. Yes. Yes. To English.
Okay. Now,
I mean,
Okay.
no.
Oh, yes.
there you go. Bravo.
Yes.
So that should work on the other as well. But Chrome is a good choice.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay. Fine.
good. And so if you just start with I'm a teacher.
Yes.
I'm a teacher. And it's free to use. You don't have to pay to use it.
Yes. Yes. Personal
Asma showed
instructional.
up and 2 other people fell off.
Yes.
It's like a revolving door. So it allows you to create games. It allows you to do quizzes. It allows you to have materials. There's lots of different things you can do with Quizlet.
Mm.
Quizlet. So if your
Okay.
goal is to give the students materials to study with, can I share my screen now?
Yes, of course. Go on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Let me
Let me.
share here. And so if I go into browse, and we're doing language in English, of course, so we can maybe do something based on language. Or for your students, we don't necessarily need language. We need so maybe political science, or maybe we're doing educational psychology. We want to do something related to psychology. Developmental psychology would be ideal for your students, or we can go back one and take another look at all of the different types that are in here, right? So if we go to educational psychology, these are for different classes. Now, educators have created these. These have been created by teachers and by students. Okay. So for example,
And are these accessible to everybody?
yes.
So I mean, let's say I am looking for a quiz, and then I can borrow from these.
You can borrow from these, but notice I'm not even logged in right now. So if I go to educational psychology and development of children and adolescents, there's 56 terms in the flashcards. Okay. There's 56 different terms. They can practice, they can get a test. They need to type the answer. What does it mean to complete one word? What involves persistent problems related to language and speech? What is assimilating new information to existing knowledge? So they would have to do this. They could do matching exercises and multiple choice exercises. So this is a quiz that's already been created. I encourage you to take someone else's quiz and review it, but don't use it as it is.
Of course.
You can print and you can make
yes.
a new test based on some of the information they've already got here for the same materials. So this way,
yes,
you don't have to create a 56 term flashcard. Right? So you can use someone else's flashcard and be able to create your own exam, your own test off of that. There's a writing section for students, right? So what's the next thing that they need to write? I don't know. Oh, negative effects of child poverty. And then they go to the next question. So there's lots of different ways for them to practice in here. And it looks like Esma's having some
But
trouble.
it is also a good resource bank for students to revise for their
Yes.
tests and examinations.
Yes. The only thing that I would caution students from doing in this is if, for example, I'm in under social sciences and my teacher says, we're going to have an exam on developmental psychology this week. Okay, I'm just making this up. And the student said, okay, I'm going to pick something on developmental psychology. Let's see. Here we go. Psychology, developmental psychology. It comes from a school. So that's probably going to be a good thing to study. And then they get in and they study the flashcards, and it's not what you're teaching them. So they need to be sure that they're getting materials that's going to match their exams, or it's not going to help them.
But they still can be selective. I mean, they can check what they need and then leave the rest.
Exactly. Exactly. Hello, Esma.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Welcome.
Esma.
I wasn't home. I just arrived.
Welcome home. Congratulations. You made it safely.
Thank you. There was a problem with connectivity. I could not join you from outside.
There's so many problems lately with connectivity.
Problems. Yes.
So if you were doing something on literature, for example, and we come in here and you're teaching Shakespeare, you can say, we'll say Shakespeare. That falls under literature. You could either do a search for Shakespeare. And I didn't spell it right, but it's going to bring something up. Oh, and now it brings up everybody else who spelled it wrong too. And I can't spell it right to save my life. So you've got Shakespeare here, right? There's all free or premium. So I want the free sets. Always make sure that you've chosen that first. Now, if you want to choose letting anybody create it, that's going to give you everyone. That's like studying from Wikipedia. Anybody can do it, okay? You can choose from a plus user. That means it's a paid user. Or you can choose just verified creators, right? So it depends on what you're looking for. If they wanted to just search and see, okay, I've got a teacher. Let's see, we'll try to pick a name of someone. Brown. I've got a teacher by the name of Brown. Here's a Brown G has 12 sets. So if, for instance, I wanted the students to find all my sets, I would give them my code, my name, and they could do a search based on the user. We could also do study guides based on development. Okay, I just say development, child development. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so I can do a little evaluation of child development. Okay, so this is a great site to get useful materials. It is not grab and go. It is not grab and go. You have to be a little judicious in how you decide what you want the students to use, and they're also going to have to do a little research. They can't just grab it and say, yes, this is perfect.
I have a problem.
Hi, Salah.
Hi again.
Hello again. So you can create a class in Quizlet or a folder or a study set. Okay, the study set would include your flashcards and these materials here. Okay.
What I have seen, yeah. Okay.
If I create a folder, of course, I have to have an account signed in. I don't have my account signed in right now. But one thing that I think is going to be useful to you and the students is the game where they match things. This is not a really good example because the definitions are longer than the thing. Let's take a look at something a little easier to show. Let's go to grammar. Okay, so the grammar, it shouldn't be really long. It should be shorter terms, right? So let's take a look at that. We'll go to match.
Yes.
And we'll start the game. And again, I've got some long ones, but has a subject and a predicate and can stand alone as a sentence. Main clause.
Clause.
Yeah?
Main clause, yes.
Right? Let's see. The indicative mood, the imperative mood, the interrogative mood, the conditional mood, and the subjunctive mood. That would go under moods.
Moods.
Right?
Yes.
So if I just have them all here, oh, I got that one wrong. Oh, that's wrong. Okay. So the students can move around their answers and see if they've got the right answer by just trying things, right? But also if they read it, they should be able to fully evaluate whether or not they've got the correct answer. And that will help them through trial and error. Say again?
Sorry, I said by the end of the exam, are all the students sure that they have performed right? Since they are allowed to change their answers, they can.
So, this is not an exam.
At the beginning.
Ah, yes.
This is a matching
yes,
game.
This is not yes.
This one is called gravity.
Yes.
And if they don't, so I'm going to make it easy because I'm old and slow. And I want to answer with the term, not with the definition. Okay. So I'm just going to answer with the term. I can require one answer only, or maybe it'll require multiple answers. Let's make it easy. So we're going to do a game. Now, a verb used in the form of moving tenses, I don't know, have? Oh, I don't know.
Voices.
Voice. I don't know. Oh no. No. It's going. Okay. That one's gone. The auxiliary verb. Okay. So, and it said it right here. I should have guessed that. But I wasn't reading. I was just stressing out. So the students would have to type the answer from the answer from the question from the prompt that they had there, and they can improve their score by responding more quickly. Okay, these are just little games that they can use to practice. It keeps telling me this because I haven't logged in. Okay, there are tags related to the sets when you create them. And it tells the students what they have not studied yet. So I really want to study the noun, and I need to study the possessive form of the noun and action verbs. Okay, so those are the ones I really need to study, right? And then I can select them all or just a few. And then I go all the way down, take a look at what's down here. Maybe there's something else that we should study. Nope, nothing else that we should study there. It's all there. I should probably study auxiliary verbs because I missed that one.
Control their own progression.
Yes. Yes, they have control over what they're studying. And so then when I come back up, it should, if I want to just practice with those 4 terms that I'm practicing with, it's going to say the word.
On this page.
It says proper noun. Okay, and I see the definition, proper noun. And it says, yes, gerund phrase. So this could help with listening comprehension for some of them. Okay, as well as I'm only 1% finished here. And then learn again. Now I get to choose from these for the answer.
Yes.
Okay, and it'll identify, if I'm familiar, that means I've missed some, but I've done them. And if it's known well, that means I'm always getting it correct. Okay, so there's lots of things that students can do with this that they don't need you for. But you could create an exam based off a set of materials to help the students understand and work on their studies.
Even for formative assessment, this is a very good tool for teachers. Yeah. At the end of every chapter, teachers can just give quizzes of this kind and check whether or not they have achieved their objectives.
So one of the things that I like to do with students at the ENS is I like to put them in the responsible position for handling some of the work in the classroom. It kind of gives them that opportunity to experience that. So doing what you're doing, Layla, I would say to the students, I would create a class and I would give one of the students the responsibility this unit for covering body parts, and they have to create the flashcards for the body parts.
Yes.
Or they have to create a study guide for the body parts. So they're in here, one student creates the flashcards, and maybe then all the students can share on that same flashcard. Okay. It just gives them a chance to participate in the development.
English.
Well, I'm just trying to see the right place for such an application. And teachers of writing and grammar for the 3rd year level, generally students are required to do lesson presentations, especially in grammar. So that would be very good for them to do a quick evaluation by the end of their presentations. So they can just present the grammar point they have to do. And then just by the end of the session, they can give a quick quiz of this kind to their mates. And then this would be a very good tool for the teacher, but also for the students to check whether the objectives are achieved or not, whether the content has been assimilated or not. I think this is genuine for students, and I think they would love it because it would change the classroom atmosphere from a direct presenter, so someone talking to the whole class, to an interactive classroom activity.
Yes.
Social drama.
All right. So are there any things that you want to look on here? I'm checking out the search, and you're going to be using the free unless you decide to buy it, but using the free, it looks like verified creator, very few of the verified creators have materials, very few. So we wouldn't be using verified, but I would look at plus users first, because plus users pay for their pay for the use of the materials or the use of the site, and at least you've got them guaranteed. They've had to have a credit card to get in to pay for it, and you're not going to get as much junk, right, that you have to sort through. All right, any questions or comments on Quizlet?
Erin,
okay. No, I want to say that maybe students, when using, even for teachers, when using Quizlet, they are learning at the same time they are gaming.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something. Exactly. It's more exciting, and I think it attracts them. So interesting. That's why.
Well, this is same reason that they like Kahoot, is that they're playing when they're learning. But Kahoot is not as comprehensive as this. Right? Kahoot doesn't have all the features available in these flashcards. Oh, well, maybe they want to learn Japanese. But yeah, Kahoot doesn't have all of these features available, right? It only has this ability for them to play. Yeah. So I really love Quizlet. I think you can find ways to use it within the framework of what you're doing in your classroom that will make the students more engaged, for sure. Thank you. All right, anyone else? I'm going to take the Japanese off the board. Let's go back to English. All right, it looks like it's 10 after the hour now. I want to go over Plickers, but let's take a short break and step away, and we'll come back and ask Layla and Shafia to review Plickers for us.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Welcome back. Did everybody have a good break?
Hello, Erin.
Hello, welcome back.
Would you please allow me share my screen?
Yes, of course. Go ahead. I'm going to stop my video, so in case people are having internet trouble, it'll be easier.
Or you can just enter. Yes, that's great.
Salha, can we stop sharing the camera, please?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Number 1 card is going to be assigned for Kai. My next student.
All right, Layla, amaze us with plickers.
Here we go. So I don't need to talk because this video summarizes everything.
Okay, well, make sure that when you share, that you share with sound. So if you go to share,
Okay.
in the lower left-hand corner, it says with sound.
Okay.
So go down to the green button where it says share screen.
Yes.
And when it opens, in the lower left-hand corner, there's a little box that says share sound.
I don't see it.
Is there anything on the bottom of the box that opens when you click share screen?
Nothing except that it is being recorded. Let me try again. I cannot this time.
Okay, so stop sharing.
Yes, that's what I do.
Okay, now go to the share screen, but don't select yet. Now, in the corner of the window where you have the share screen, you should have 2 boxes. One says share sound. The other says optimize for video clip.
Yes, I see it.
Choose share sound and select that box.
Done.
Now you can share.
Okay. So let me start it again.
Very good.
Here we go.
Hi, this is Giselle Gonzalez, and today I'm going to talk to you about Plickers,
Bravo.
a really cool tool that lets teachers collect real-time formative assessment data. Start by opening your browser and in the address box type plickers.com. This will take you to the Plickers webpage. Find the sign up button up at the upper right-hand side.
Layla, can you make the full screen for the video?
Put in your first name, last name, email, password, and press sign up. After you've completed the sign up process, you will wait for an email from Plickers. Once you have all the information ready, go back to the web page, and instead of pressing sign up, you're going to press sign in. There you're going to be asked to put in your email and your password and press the blue button. This will take you to your library. Here in your library, you have the option to see reports, your classes, live view, print out cards, help link, and information on your account. Today I'm going to show you how to add a new class. Press classes, go to the add new class button, name your class. I'm going to name this class Awesome First Graders. Select a year. It's a first grade classroom. Subject area, general education, and I think I want the color blue for this class. And then I'm going to press save. This will then take me to add my classroom roster. If I press add roster, I can link an already made list, which you will type in here in this box and then press save. Or you can just enter students by name one at a time. My first student is going to be Kai. And then I'm going to press enter. And then you're going to see how my number 1 card is going to be assigned for Kai. My next student is going to be Kaina. I'm going to press enter. And now Taina gets number 2. You may do this with up to 63 students. If you have a class larger than 63, you may have to divide the class up into 2 different groups. I'm going to go back to classes, and I am going to go back to my library. This is all for now. Have a good night.
So now what I have to add about this, I have to be back to the right. So what we have to know about this is that this is a tool used for formative assessment. So at the end of the class or during class, teachers can do some formative assessment and try to check to what extent the class has been. You can't hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So
We hear you, yes.
the class progression.
Are you going to share the website?
The website?
Or should I share it, or you can share it?
It's here. I can share it.
Thank you.
Can you see it?
No.
I'm sharing it.
I can see it now.
You can't?
I can.
I can too. It's on.
Okay.
So the video has shown how you can sign in and how you can create classes and how you can assign cards for every student. So the idea of the cards is similar to the slates which are used in primary schools. So students quickly give a response of an MCQ, so with a letter A, B, or C, or D, and then it uses QR codes. So you can just select one answer, and then with a tablet or a smartphone, the teacher can quickly recognize the answers of the students.
Can you show an example?
So, sorry?
Can you show an example of the QR codes, the sheets?
Yes. Let me show it for you. No. Let me show you some. Here they are. So can you see? So,
yes.
So these cards have got small RQs in codes in the middle, so they are very small, and this doesn't allow students to cheat. So every student gives his answer, and it's so small that it is only depicted by the tablet because the teacher is going to do like taking a photo. So the teacher presses on the taking photo button, and then all the replies of the students are collected quickly and easily. That's all I have, Erin. So I couldn't go further because of the connection.
I understand. Thank you. That was great.
Thank you very much, Leila.
So thank you, Leila. One of the things that I was considering with Plickers is how with this these Plickers cards that you can, the students each get their own individual card, and I've got a close-up here. Let me share that on my screen. It's part of a video. Just one moment. So here's a picture of one of the cards. So the students will know, this is student number 2. Can you see what I'm looking at here?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to spotlight here. So this is student number 2, and it's number 2 on each side of the card so the student can see it from wherever they are. And then the little letter is the answer, right? So the student will turn the card according to the direction that they want the answer to appear. Let me see if I can get
whether D or A or B or C.
Right. Yes. And you have each card, as the video was showing, associated with a different student. So when you pick up the information about that card, then you know which student it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that it was student 1 and the answer that student 1 gave was A.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the benefits of this is that the other students don't need to know what the first student answered. So if you have students who refuse to participate when you ask group questions, then you don't get answers from them. You don't know if they just don't understand, they are embarrassed, they just don't want to participate. You don't know. But with this, you'll be able to find your answer by how they've responded on the Plickers. So you've got, he's showing how to do it with the phone, right? And you're doing it on your phone. The answer is A is blue, B is green, C is brown, D is red. The students have to answer, and he's got his answers coming in right here. Okay, and he can go and see the answers for each of the students. So this would be really helpful, I think, in making sure that you're engaging all of the students. This is one of the problems that I had with 30 students in a class, was trying to make sure that all of them were engaged, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
It's always a challenge that we have in large classes. We want to know who's responded, how many people have responded, and we can say, and look, they've got 45% correct in this one and 27% correct in this one. Clearly, my students need more work on this particular topic.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I think it would be very helpful for teachers, and you can use it in your browser. So when we come back here, let me get out of the share. And we come back to the screen here. And for example, I don't have a Plicker printed out, but I'll use a paper that I have on my desk. For example, if I hold it up to my screen, you can take a snapshot of it, right? You could use your cell phone and take a snapshot and get it graded, even if you're doing a remote class, right?
Yes.
So your students can put it whatever direction they think the answer is, and they're getting to move around, which we don't do right now online. Nobody moves. Everybody's in their chair.
Yes.
They're either on the computer like this or like this with their phone. So they get an opportunity to have some tactile interaction that they don't get. Now your students would either have to print it out or pick it up at school. What I would do with those cards is I would not give them paper cards. I would print them. So let me go back to this, the Plicker screen. Just a moment. All right. I'm going to grab something that's already existing, just for an example. So I'm going back to this main screen, and I've got the Sonnet Act 1 prologue, and I want to follow this pack, and I'm going to go to my library, and now I have Romeo and Juliet in my library. Okay, it takes me here. And now I want to get the cards, and I can download the Plickers and print them out, or I can buy them on Amazon, or I've already got cards and I want to use my own cards. So with these cards, I would recommend printing them and laminating them and cutting them. Maybe not in that order, maybe cut them and then laminate them. And then assign them to the students. And they can take them with them in their bag, they can take them home, they can bring them to class, wherever they need them, and they'll have their card with them. And they can use it with that class for the entire year. So that's my recommendation if you decide to use something like Plickers. I like it because it's very specifically something different as an interactive tool.
Yes, it is, in fact.
Yeah. All right. that's it for Plickers. Let's open up the discussion about what kind of assessment that you want to have online. What kind of assessment do you want to conduct online?
It's not really what we want to have, it's what we are obliged to have sometimes. It depends on the topic because we are teaching so many things. So,
well, my goal, Amina, is to make it easy
in a writing
for you.
class, for example, it's obviously, yes. I don't know.
The ideal thing for me is to do exactly the same exam I do face to face online.
Okay.
So that it makes sense. I mean, if I go to simplify the activities for graduating students, this would make it really fun, but I am not really evaluating the critical thinking in my students, and not only that, but we are at a level, let me say, where students have to produce, to criticize, to develop an idea, to support an idea, or to give arguments. So activities of this kind would be fun, that's true, but they would not really reflect what I'm looking for.
Okay, you're talking about the two things we looked at today, and what I'm asking you for is to tell me what you want to put online as an assessment so that I can help you find the right tool.
So that's what I told you.
Well, you're telling me the tools aren't going to work, but I don't know what it is that you want to do.
I told you I'm trying to find a profile that would be similar to the one I'm using face to face. So generally, we are doing essay development. We are also doing some problem solving activities.
In the form of?
In the form of situations, problems. So where we identify a problem, and then on the light of what the students have learned in class, they would be able to find solutions to the identified problem.
So the output would be some kind of essay or a recording?
A recording, a paragraph, an essay. All these are possible.
Okay. Amina?
Well, as I told you, it depends on the what the subject I'm teaching. Obviously, I'm teaching writing, and it's essay writing, it's paragraph writing, and I do not really see how I can have an online examination of this kind. So usually, I want to see my students. I want to see the reflective capacity of students, and it's usually the essay or the paragraph which we use to evaluate this. But honestly, how to put this in online apart from the traditional way of asking the question directly and expecting a Word document or a PDF document where they have an essay written, I do not know really what kind of online evaluation they may have for this objective in particular. Yes.
Okay, so being able to turn in writing that you can evaluate,
yes,
but to be sure.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It's because it's a bit complicated. It's the essay is just a kind of an output or where I can evaluate so many skills. Okay, so it's the comprehension of the question, the analysis, the ability to organize ideas, and to to exemplify for the IDs, and all these in a coherent output. So what kind of online evaluation may help me do this? I'm still, honestly, I'm still looking for the appropriate online tool, which I have not yet found. Yes.
Okay. So I know that all of you are probably familiar with Grammarly. Grammarly as
sorry,
a tool.
may I add something?
Yes, please.
Sorry. Last year we have tried to, because of the pandemic, of course, we have tried some online tests. It was an MCQ and it was also written essays, but the same problem remains. The problem is with the test validity and test reliability.
Yes.
Okay, so there was neither the test, it's not about the test, but about the situation itself. You get it? So
I do.
it was because of the situation itself. So we were almost sure that all the students were cheating, and we were not sure that we are having exams or we were having tests in the situation that they need to occur. And we were not, of course, we were not thinking about the grades, and we were not thinking about anything else, because we know that it was a very different situation and a very exceptional situation. So now, how can we create some tests which can be valid and reliable, and the results can be reliable, and they reflect really the level of the students? How can I be sure that my students are responding to the assignment without consulting documents, without consulting
Google, without Googling the question?
Even with the MCQ, for example, they were calling each other, and they were students were calling each other, and they were answering the questions and collectively. So we were not at all sure about these results, whose results they were.
Okay, so there are tools out there that will not allow the student to exit the exam to go to a different page. That's one. That's one. The other is that doesn't allow the student, it keeps the camera on. They have to have the camera on while they're working, and it follows where their eyes are.
Oh, great.
There are these tools. They use them for a number of like the intensive international exams, where you have to check in, you have to leave the camera on, so that the assessor knows that it's you and your work. Some of them will go only so far as to say you have to check in, you're sitting at the seat, and you have the camera take a picture of your face, right? So they know that it's you. And then the camera goes off. It's not going to stay on the whole time. So there's some of those, and then people can switch seats. I mean, there's the possibility of those things.
I think this is called tracking.
It is called tracking. Yeah, it's available. It's available, and it's out there with certain types of software that you can use. Another tool that you might be interested in, or that you may already know about, is a tool called Turnitin. It's a website. Have you heard of Turnitin?
No.
I think it's for something for, we used it for research, for plagiarism.
Yes, it's for essays to make sure that materials have not been stolen from other sites, and it goes through not just it's for plagiarism, but in my use, when I used it with my Saudi students, because they were having to turn in essays, it would tell me if chunks had come from a different source. So maybe they copied one paragraph from this group and one paragraph from this student. I spent so much time checking for plagiarism, excuse me, before I started using that. Just a moment.
Besides, it's free.
I'm sorry?
I said it's free. It's free for use. We do not pay charges to use it.
I don't think you do. And I think you might be able to get it established with one of the other tools you're using. Maybe integrate it with Moodle or with Google Classroom or something.
No, great.
I'm sorry, I got some tickle or something in my throat.
Bless you.
Maybe because of speaking.
It is probably.
Yeah.
I talked too much already. Somebody's trying to tell me.
Yes, you're speaking more than us. We are supposed to speak to share some, to share the burden with you, but
I'm sorry, I talked too much.
We let you down.
No. You guys have done a great job. So there's Grammarly, which I would encourage all of your students to get, but this is one of the things about Grammarly, grammarly.com. It's helpful in writing papers, but it can be not so helpful if you're trying to evaluate a student's grammar because it's already telling them the correct answers, right?
Yes.
This is also free. This is also free. There are tools out there that will not allow students to copy paste. They have to type the entry in. And you can set time limits. Time limits is one of the best tools, not necessarily to evaluate skills, but to keep students from going outside for other resources and coming back.
That's what happened for us when we have had the online tests. So I have allowed 2 hours to my students, fearing that they would lose connection at a point. We were not sure that they would be able to connect at the same time and keep being connected. Especially that day there was an official exam, and you already are familiar with that. When it is an official exam in Algeria, internet is cut. So we had a risk to take, and that gave the opportunity for students to get in and out of the exam. I was observing them through Moodle, so I could see who was in, who left, who came back, and that made the exam not reliable at all.
I had some students yesterday who said they had just taken their first,
yesterday
first exam.
I was going to talk about that. So Amel gave me some feedback about it. So she said they had first to find the rooms where the students could do it there on the spot, but online. They could respond online. So they had first to find the rooms available where computers are available, mainly the language laboratories and the computer rooms, the computing rooms. And then at a point they couldn't open the doors of the rooms, so they lost the keys or something like that. So the lady who was in charge of organizing the test had to change the starting time for the exam regularly. So 15 minutes and then some more 15 minutes. And then it took them around 1 hour and 15 minutes to be able to start the exam.
Yes.
And it took half an hour. It took half an hour, but still the results at the end, Emel told me that they are quite reliable because the scores, the grades are identical to situations where the students do it on spot. And it was a literature exam.
Yeah, they told me about it.
Yeah.
The students did, not the teachers.
Yeah, I think, how was their reaction to it?
They liked it. They liked having the exam online, although they said that it was very complicated to get to that point, meaning what you just told me about how long it took to get into the rooms and get connected. That was the biggest struggle that they said that they had, but they really liked doing it online.
Well, Erin, we were there, Shafia and me, I think, actually supervising the examination, but the students did not have any struggle. They were not really struggling. The teachers were struggling, and the supervisors and the administration, the administrative staff, and but the students, it was a kind of stress much more because it's the first time thing.
Yeah, they don't know what
That's
to
all.
expect.
Yes, but it was very easy for them to once they have started nothing, it was just something very easy for them, and I was a bit surprised that they found the thing easy, because it's a first time to do it.
Yeah.
But actually, as Leila said, we had this challenge of starting the examination in time. Fortunately, there were this we have this kind of time margin that Amal, because initially the examination was programmed or planned to be face to face, okay, and then it was changed to be online. So the time was restricted to just 30 minutes, I think. So the rest of the time we took it to solve the technical problems. So, but as the first experience, we faced the first technical problems, not with students. The students did not really.
External problems.
Yes.
Problems of the keys and problems of the classrooms, etc.
So these are things you can fix.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fix. And here
we can fix the next time.
Yeah. So here we are not evaluating the situation in the way we are talking about. We are talking about the math and how can we evaluate students, etc. So I don't know how can we talk about reliability in such situation.
Yes.
You get my point?
So I completely understand what you're talking about.
I was there. Yeah. Yesterday I was there, and the questions they were very, very easy, and the students were very close to each other, and we have trouble to handle really the situation because we were a few teachers there. So I'm really anxious about how to evaluate really the level of the students and to what extent they have learned and they have grasped the materials we have been providing to them. This is the issue. Okay,
and
the problems of the rooms and of the keys, we can fix them. It has taken us more than an hour, but I still consider the problem an external problem, a technical problem.
That's right.
It's
it's not
pedagogical. How can we evaluate?
So, Shafia, one of the things that and we've talked about this in the past, one of the things that you could do, and I didn't turn off my camera, and I think I might have given Esma a kicked out. I might have kicked her out. One of the things that you might consider is that essays may not be the best way to evaluate all the materials and all the courses that you're teaching.
Yes.
You may want to look at portfolios, and portfolios would be a collection of the work that they've done over the course of the period, over the course of the term, with a final summary that's done in an audio recording, so you have to hear their voice. Right?
Yes.
Or a video, so you can see if they're reading or if they've memorized something, right? Or in the video, they get there's a number of tools that you can use where you have a phone number. In the United States, we have this. I don't know if you have it available in Algeria, but we might be able to find something that works this way. There's a phone number, and the students call the phone number. And the phone number, an answering machine picks up and says, your question is, how much wood can a woodchuck chuck, right? And the student has to answer within the 30-second or 1-minute window on the recording, however long the recording is set for. So this is done in the business circles for hiring new employees so that you can have them leave responses rather than interviewing 100 people with the same question and trying to, filter out the good ones. We would have them call in, answer automatically, and then when I'm hiring somebody, I can listen to the recordings and say, yes, I want to interview them. No, I don't want to interview them. And you can do the same with the students. Yes, she's got a good grasp of this. No, he doesn't have a good grasp of this, and you can grade them accordingly. It's not writing, and the voice is an identifying factor. So that would be one way that you could have more reliability and validity of your exam results than if you had them write a document and email you a document. That is the most unreliable thing you can have. One of the things that you need to remember when you're having students take exams online is that, and I don't think this is a problem with your students, but it may be that they are slower typists than others. So some may type really quickly. Others may think really quickly, but they can't type very fast. And so the timing matters. And you don't want to penalize a student who is a good thinker but a bad typist, and the other way around.
Yes, that's true.
Erin,
That's true.
I think that the kind of exam online should not be a summative exam. What I mean is that I cannot rely only on that part to evaluate the learner. So it would be part of a continuous evaluation activity or process, because well, for the test they took yesterday, it was on literature, and I would be skeptical to consider that an MCQ or a yes/no answer of that kind would really show you the appreciation of literature or whatsoever. So generally in literature, we would like to see how students appreciate what they read.
Yeah, and how they apply it to their own lives.
Or how they apply it and so on. So an MCQ would not be enough to evaluate the students. And in this way, the teacher has to make a variety of activities where, in addition to what the teachers could suggest for an exam like that, they would add some formative assessment on questions for reflection, and then students answer through videos or through sending a small paragraph.
Writing, yes.
Goose Chase. You all have seen Goose Chase, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they can go through and collect materials, collect resources, give you a video response to the items.
That's it. So variety is the key when it comes to online assessment. One exam would not be enough, and I wouldn't consider it reliable.
Can I ask a question that probably is just because I'm an American and I don't understand your system so well? So what if the assessment, the mid-year assessment, was actually turned into ongoing assessments throughout the year? So a collection like the I don't even remember what it's called in the oral assessment. We have three grades. So you have the midterm and the final, but then we also have a third grade that we can give in the oral assessment class.
The TD mark.
The TD mark. Thank you, Amina.
Yes.
I've been away from it 6 months and now I can't remember. But
how could you forget?
My brain gets full and then other things start falling out my ears. Right, everybody loves the TD mark. But what if instead of giving a midterm exam, what if it was an ongoing small like unit type exams or unit type assessments that are not as maybe the unit assessments are 60% of their grade, and then the final exam is 40% of their grade. So they've got their unit pieces that they've done, or I don't know about the weighting. You can choose the weighting as you like.
Up to the teachers.
Is it? Because I think the system requires a midterm exam,
it's not up to the teacher. Yes, Leila, it's not up to
exams, but you can still manage your mark the way you like. You can do the test, the assignment, the exam as it is required, but you are still free to include other activities in your exam. So we have the bonus marks. We have possibilities to variate and to not to rely only on the exam.
So if you had a course that you could base in project-based learning, and you were developing a project and they would build each piece of the project, and then they have a benchmark point at the midterm, and that's their midterm exam. They pull all the pieces for the project for that midterm, and then they finalize the project for their final exam, and they're doing pieces along. Would that be something that would work with some of the courses?
Yes, it can work. Well, maybe Mr. Hamada and Rabia are doing exactly this. So they are working on a project, that of developing or evaluating materials. So either they have to develop materials or evaluate materials. And they work continuously on developing their end of the term project, and they are evaluated in this way. So on the day of
But
the
Leila,
exam,
this is a TD mark, Leila. It is a TD mark. That's
Amina,
all
you understand
they
what I'm
are
asking.
doing. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I have understood what Leila is saying, but I think that Leila, we are not allowed to change the evaluation. That's what we were just speaking in the CP last time. We are not allowed to change the evaluation system. I mean, without the permission of the higher authorities, if you wish.
I didn't say you change it, Amina. I didn't say you change it, but I said
no.
You can adapt
now
it.
it's not me, Leila, who's saying we change it. It's if I have understood, that's what Erin means. She means can you change the way you are evaluating instead of asking students to have those obligatory compulsory examinations instead of having them? Why not have a kind of continuous evaluation? Yes, we cannot do this.
We cannot, but it is still flexible, and you can arrange it to serve your purpose.
Yeah, Shafia, did you have?
See how? Yes,
sorry,
yes.
just a minute, Shafia. I think she was trying to say something. Yes. Were you trying to say something earlier?
Yes. Now we can say yes.
Yes, we have. Yeah, I don't know whether you remember or not, but we have had a discussion when we used to have a workshop with you at the ENSC before you left.
Yeah, I remember.
And we have talked about this problem and
issue,
about that issue, and we have talked. I have raised the question whether we can really change this system, completely change it. So instead, because I believe that we are preparing future teachers. So the meaning of the exams is not really. I don't find a real meaning for an exam of a test. I talk about training students. Students have to become teachers. So each time they have to prepare a project, each time they have to, I like to rely on the portfolio evaluation and on the project-based evaluation. And I remember that Leila herself said that it's impossible because the higher authorities will not say yes, and we need to keep the same form of exams. First exam, second exam.
Yes, Leila. I'm still saying that.
Yeah, I remember.
There is some kind of flexibility. I mean, you can adapt. You can introduce some continuous assessment into what you are doing. So instead of
as an additional, Leila, as an additional mark, but we cannot touch. We cannot touch the first exam, Leila. We cannot touch the first examination and the first term examination and the second term examination.
You can. Well, we are scoring around 20 out of 20, right?
Yes.
So instead of making an exam out of 20, I can make it out of 15. And then I allow 5 points for some kind of activity away from the exam. And it's done. I know some teachers who are doing this.
Ladies, please, can I add something?
Yes.
Yes.
We are doing this in high school. For example, out of 20, for example, we give 15 for the 15 points for an exam, and 5 points for something else, portfolio, or for example, a project,
but
or you have something to create. What?
It's the continuous assessment, I guess.
Yeah,
not the exam.
This is an ongoing it's ongoing evaluation. So I think it's possible to have such
It is
work, for
possible.
example.
It is
It's the
possible.
second mark.
Exactly what we are doing now, but we are talking about changing things completely, whether
No,
we
you
can or
cannot.
not.
You cannot. Well,
You
there are
cannot change, I
requirements,
think.
and
An
then,
exam.
well, you know, students receive a document by the end of their study cycle where all these subjects are mentioned, and then the grades in the first exam, grades in the second exam, to validate their degree. So you cannot change it and then
But
say,
we can,
well, my
Leila,
school.
we can have
We're not
the
speaking about
projects.
change.
Yes, yeah, or
We forgot about Erin. Erin is listening.
I'm so sorry.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Maybe it's high time to change things.
I asked the question because I wonder, not that I want to change your system. I'm not trying to change the way things are done, but because being online requires, and Sheffy has asked a really, really valid question about reliability and validity of the exams and the results. That's the only reason that they do exams. If you don't have reliable exams, there's no point. Right?
Yeah,
What's the point of assessing?
That's why, sorry, Erin, that's why I'm saying maybe it's time, maybe it's the right time now, because these problems of validity and reliability are raised right now. Maybe we can think for another type of assessment, and maybe we can allow ourselves to small change.
Yeah.
Why not?
So this was why I was asking if you could do some assessments that are not so critical to their final grade, right? So that some assessments throughout the course of the year, and then require them to come to the campus and do the final, if they have to stay away. I'm not saying that everybody's going to have to work from home, because I don't think that's going to be forever. But if students aren't able to come to the campus, they still have the ability to take these middle road assessments, these interim assessments prior to the final exam. Now that puts a lot of weight on the final exam to prove that they've actually learned something. But if you have more formative assessments throughout the course of the year, and maybe turn them in as instead of a midterm mark, just have a TD mark and then your final exam mark, then you would be able to, or give multiple assessments throughout the year. I don't know exactly how that would work. I mean, that would definitely not be up to me, but you guys could give students a better opportunity to check in and make sure that they're learning, make sure that they understand before they have the critical final exam. So this massive week-long, I've got to study, I've got to study, I've got to study, would be year-long with check-ins throughout the year, like you would do if you were doing project management, right? You would have these milestones that they have to reach. Once they've reached those milestones, then it's pretty much guaranteed that they'll pass the final exam. Right? That's what I'm thinking, as opposed to when you have everybody in classrooms, it's easier to say, okay, we're going to do exams, we're going to put all the students in the rooms. But when they're not, when everything is decentralized, there needs to be a different way of thinking about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And I think that formative evaluation is good also, not only in distance learning, even when things hello?
On campus.
Yes,
I
yes.
can hear you.
For example, this is what we are doing in oral expression is something like this. I mean, we are working through projects, through activities in class, and it is a very good way of assessing continuously the student. And I find it really a pity that this continuous evaluation constitutes just a third of the mark of the students, because it's counted just a TD mark, and still we have these 2 term examinations where we have to ask just a question to a student and listen to him for I don't know, 2, 3, or max, let's say 5 minutes, and on the basis of such a question and such an answer, we allocate to him a mark that is more important than the continuous evaluation itself.
And
That's
if
what
it happens that the student doesn't feel well that day,
yes.
It's as if he has done nothing during a whole term.
Yes, that's what, and if you understand me, that's what I meant, Leila. I meant that the legislation, I mean the rules, the laws, do not allow us much freedom concerning this balance between the term exams and the TD marks or the continuous evaluation, where it is during this continuous evaluation when we can see really the work of the students. Unfortunately, it constitutes just the third of the mark of the scores of the student, and the summative assessment, or if we can call it like this, or the term examination, which takes place during just 1 hour and a half, 1 day on special conditions. It's this examination which decides much about the the final score of the student, and this is not very for me not very logical, especially when I started teaching oral expression. I found that the scoring and the evaluation system needs really to be rethought. We need to rethink about the evaluation system of certain courses.
Well, there's a difference between the needs for evaluation for certain types of courses, right?
Yes.
When you're learning a language is not learned in a linear manner. We learn language according to things that affect us emotionally and according to how our brains work. And yes, of course, memorization is a part of every learning process, right? We all have to memorize some things, but to be able to use a language effectively requires practice and requires a regular usage. And we don't always recognize that mastery of a language is a developing process, as opposed to something that, okay, they've been in the seat for 600 hours, they should be able to speak at a B2 level.
Yes.
Right? and that's unrealistic to expect that every student is going to do that and to grow at the same way, but it doesn't mean that they're not learning.
Yes.
You know, Erin, this is one of the issues about the baccalaureate exam in Algeria. So students spend around, let's say, 13 years of education preparing for the so-called baccalaureate, which has changed into a nightmare for students.
And parents, I hear.
So you either pass or you fail. And I am not sure that the exam is really showing the real level of the students. Exactly. Very good students fail because of stress, because of an unexpected problem, condition, and very many others would succeed because they have been memorizing rules like that, so without even understanding them and grasping them. I know a teacher, for instance, of English, who gives ready-made recipes for students to perform during the exam.
The exam, yeah, there are, yes.
Which does not necessarily show that the learners really understand what they are doing. And then this is reflected in the students' performance at the university later on. And when the students come to university with very high grades, this doesn't mean that they are really good. Most of them have been learning like parrots, some ready-made recipes to pass, and that's it. So exams are not really a mirror of the students' level.
I experienced that in the oral expression classes when I was giving exams for midterms and finals, and they said, "What are the topics?" And I said, "Well, it might be something that we talked about during the year." You know, and they're like, no, you have to give us topics. I said, okay. So I give them 60 topics because we talked about 60 different things during the year. They said, Miss, how can I prepare? I said, practice speaking.
Yes.
Right. And it's not about the content. It's about, can you put sentences together? Can you have a conversation with me? And I had students preparing entire monologues when I told them, your exam is to come in and have a conversation with me. If you can do that, you will pass the exam. And some of them came in and they didn't even ask me questions. They didn't talk to me as if I were there. They just came in. They pulled the topic because we were supposed to have a discussion topic. And then they told me all about the topic. That's it. And I'm like, that wasn't the exam. Oh, you know.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a mindset there that memorization will get you where you need to be, Layla. I agree with you.
Yes. And the type of questions addressed to the students favors that type of learning.
Yes.
So if they had to just respond to problem-solving situations or to use their own understanding of a topic, they would not certainly memorize the rules and concepts they are exposed to.
It's true. It's true.
Yes, that's true.
So we are getting down to the last 15 minutes. I would like to, I'm going to give you all some links here in the chat. And these are all different tools that we've talked about regarding assessment.
Yes.
You should recognize them all. What I would like you to do, I don't know why I've got this dry tickle in my throat. I apologize. What I would like to do is I would like for you to choose one. Choose one of these tools and create an assessment that you can use with your students. And then share that assessment on the Padlet or bring it with you next week and share it with us next week.
Okay.
Okay. Something that you will use, and consider if you share it on the Padlet, it'll be something that perhaps other teachers that are using the same or doing something similar to your class could also use, because this is to develop your toolbox of materials and to see how other teachers do it, give us ideas, right? That's this whole idea of community of practice and bringing you all together in these meetings so that you can build on each other's ideas and get this time that you normally wouldn't have to spend together to develop your own and each other's ideas.
Okay.
Does this sound doable?
Yeah, it is.
I think
It is. Yes.
Okay, you don't have to use one of these particular tools. If you have another one in mind, you're welcome to bring another one in. These are just ones that we've talked about in our sessions, so I would say those will be ones that people are ready for.
Okay.
I didn't put Flipgrid on there, but Flipgrid, I don't consider that assessment so much.
Yes.
Okay. Questions? You sound tired, Amina.
Sorry?
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, Salha.
Okay. I think this year I'm teaching reading technique. Okay. And a problem, as Shafia said, we have a problem with when we ask students to, when we send them, for example, when we send them activities to answer and so on, really, I get the same answer for the whole two groups.
Oh, yeah.
So I have the same answer. I don't know what they did. Really,
it's a group work, I think.
It's a group work. Yeah, we have some activity. For example, summarize this paragraph or this text or paraphrase and so on. I got the same answer for the two classes. And I don't know what I'm going to do for the 2 classes. I don't know. So I want an answer for that.
Well, ask them which one was the original one that wrote it.
Yes.
And then everybody else,
I was about to say
everybody
this.
else gets graded, but the original person gets an F for sharing their work.
Yeah, they are sharing their work. The whole 2 classes, they are sharing the work.
Wow. That's hard. That's really, really hard. I would call that a failed exam, just altogether.
Yes.
Yes. And now we send them another exercise, which is text, whole text, and we ask them to paraphrase it. And I'm waiting. Maybe they are going to give me the same or to send me the same. Though I told them that each one should work alone, but in vain. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you should be expecting just one answer, and this is good for you for the correction. You know, you will not be it will not be very hard to correct.
Yes, but as a teacher, you are suffering. We cannot accept such answers. Huh?
Yes, of course. This is unacceptable.
Are you doing this in Moodle?
Essay module? No, till now.
Moodle.
Moodle. No, till now I'm not doing it.
Where did you give them the assignment?
It's in the Moodle. Yes, it's in the Moodle because
here's my suggestion to you.
Okay.
Okay. My suggestion to you is you send them a message in Moodle that there will be an essay requirement on Friday or on Monday at 2 p.m. They will have 30 minutes to complete the essay from the time that they log in. They need to make sure that they have a good internet connection because you will not give them leeway for disconnects.
Yes.
And they can turn it in immediately at that time. So this way, and then use Google or use Moodle and put a timer.
Okay.
Yes.
And close it at the end. Don't let them continue.
Yes. In this case, I will have each one. I will have an answer for each student. Yes.
Exactly. You may not have a comprehensive answer, but they should be able to start. You can at least see how they're thinking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
You may see individual answers. And I think, Saliha, you can ask for the assistance of the e-learning units. They can help you with this. I mean, restrictions for the assignment.
Okay.
Another thing that you can do that we do a lot in higher ed is to, at the very beginning of an assignment, you will put something at the very top saying, by completing this assignment, I am agreeing or I acknowledge that this is entirely my work and I swear it is entirely my work.
Yeah.
That won't work.
Yes.
Well, it's not necessarily to make them be honest, but what it does is that if they turn something in and then someone else turns in exactly the same thing, they can run the risk of getting kicked out of the college. And that fear could motivate them to do their own work. Do you understand? That's at least that's what they do here in the US.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
That's a problem. I have students record things and I was having them send me videos at one time and it would make me crazy because the videos take up so much space and they would want to send it to me in email. And it's too difficult to, Google doesn't want to give me a free space anymore. They want me to pay for it now because I've got such a big email box. So yeah, but if you could use Padlet and have them record on Padlet. They could create their own Padlet and share it with you privately. And then they can do a video recording and you can see them recorded, and it's not recorded on their computer, it's recorded online. Right? There's no uploading. It's just in the space that they're recording. So there's lots of options. All right, ladies. Anything else you want to cover before we go today?
You are tired, Erin. That will be fine today. I see you are struggling.
Leila, we should talk soon. We should talk soon. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So take care.
All right, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I'll see you all next week.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Okay.
See you next week. Goodbye.
Right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am.